All right, I think we're live. Let me just move on this waiting screen and we can see each other. There we go. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I hope you had an amazing weekend. Today is Monday, depending from where you're from. It's either Monday morning, evening, maybe still Sunday, depending on where you're from, but I don't think so. Or it could be also Tuesday, depending again from where you're from. Um, I hope aliens don't listen to this. Who knows what they could be there, but yeah. Anyway, enough with the bad jokes. Hope you guys are doing well. Today would be a new day for D Lab within David Tech. First and foremost, guys, the disclaimer: you are 100% liable for your financial decisions, so please take care and do understand that trading can be tied to losing money. If you're getting approached by somebody claiming to be either me or somebody from the team, which are asking you to make a deposit to join some even more private room or anything like that, that's 100% a scam. If you wish to speak to David Tech official, please just join our Discord server or the WhatsApp group and just ask away for support, and somebody, including me, will be able to help you. If you guys have any questions through the whole of the live stream, just ask away. We are checking the comments frequently. And you can also join the Discord. Let me just make sure that we are sharing the link to the Discord as well. There we go. Discord.gg/DavidTech. Very easy, very straightforward. If you wish to join the conversation, it's free to join. Just scroll down a little bit and then you're going to find the voice chat, and just make me aware if you don't wish to have your voice included in the recording, and I'll make sure to remove it. So I do respect your choice. Today's agenda today would be 22nd of June 2026. I hope the heat wave didn't hit you like it did me and David. It's screaming hot at the moment here, but yeah, we're managing it. We have the AC, the colders, and everything like that. Hope you guys are doing well. The agenda for today, guys, and for the rest of the week, as you might be aware, we do have events on Monday, Tuesday, and also on Wednesday. The rest of the events are pretty much focused within Discord. We have multiple new rooms, of which I'm going to announce a little bit later, like a small Discord refresh. After we finish with the main event of today, I'm going to speak about that as well. Main event for today, guys, as you might be aware, we have Yuli inside our community. He's a electrical engineering teacher. He's been with us for the last 4 months, something like that. He's been building indicators, simple strategies based on these indicators, which are approaching more technical subjects, maybe something about engineering, maybe something about math, some subjects which have never been approached before or not that complex, on which I'm very, very happy to introduce you guys to Yuli. How are you doing, my friend?
Very excited for this week, Vlad. Hi
Okay,
to
another common
everyone.
one.
Yes, I am fighting on different battlefronts. For this
Okay,
week, I almost finished my personal project regarding
okay.
the upgrade of me to the debt level.
Okay.
I told you about the app that I'm trying to build for future dads.
Interesting. Maybe we should do a review of it. Maybe
Yeah,
somewhere down
for
the line.
sure. Maybe I will make something like a no-fly deploy to test it before actual release, and after that, you never
Awesome.
know.
Make sure, guys, to join Discord because Yuli might give us a preview about his new app for dads. In case you are a
Yeah,
dad, becoming a dad, or not even thinking about becoming a dad, maybe it could be something very interesting for you. So,
it may
a
scare you
perfect
or
fit
not.
for everybody. Indeed. Awesome. Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yes, and beside that, of course, this week will be an interesting one because we have come to an end. I mean, today I will present you the meta indicator that I was trying to build for some time. I was able to finish the presentations and everything. So yeah, it will be interesting, I think. Let me share my screen. Let me know
Sure.
if you can see it.
Let me just make sure we do so. Let me just select the right screen.
Algobot said something about Echo. I muted you on Discord. Maybe you should do the same for me.
Uh, it shouldn't be the case because I don't think I'm sharing with audio,
Okay.
and it shouldn't be any kind of echo. Guys, make sure to mute inside Discord. Make sure to mute Yuli's presentation in case you can hear me two times. It might be because of that. But other than that, we're good to go, Yuli. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good. Okay, everyone. So, yeah, before we proceed to the presentation, I want to give you a first look on the indicator to the TradingView platform. So, basically, this will be the indicator for today. Here you have a table that it is explaining to you the acronyms. You can turn it off after you get used to this, but yeah, it's just to help you get around the names of the other tables. Beside that, this is the main table. So here you will find the results of the final score. So yeah, just to be as short as possible before the presentation, the idea of this indicator is it's an engine that is trying to rank different indicators. So here, for example, if we go to the settings, to the inputs, you can go up to 10 inputs, like different, I don't know, moving averages, for example, and the indicator will try to give you which one should be the best regarding the present moment of the market, or based on the behavior of what is happening now in the market, which of the indicators that you have selected to compare it's the best is the best right now, and of course best like overall. So this is the main table that you want to look after. And beside that, you also have this table in the right that is related to diagnostics. So for more advanced users, to say so, you can have like four types of layers regarding the diagnostics of the content. So it will give you like a more in-depth understanding of the information that you find in the main table. So now let me change the screen. Change screen. Can I do that directly? Yes, I can. So now we should be able to see the presentation.
All good, Yuli. Please proceed.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
because
all good.
in my Discord it's showing weird. Okay, so the multi-criteria decision analysis meta ranker. This is the name of the indicator, and also the core idea of it. So the multi-criteria decision is a methodology, an algorithm that we have used in engineering, economics, and other domains as well. That is trying to help us to compare different inputs regarding to a set of criteria. So the idea of the indicator is that it doesn't matter what input you set, it will treat it like an unknown sensor if you want. So it doesn't matter if it's an oscillator, a filter, or I don't know, something else. It will try to treat it equal with the other, and based on some criterias, it will give you the rank. So before we begin, a quick note: this session is educational only, of course, and not financial advice. The goal for today is not to tell like anyone want to buy, what to sell, or how to trade. The goal is to explain a framework for comparing indicator inputs more objectively if you want. So today I want you to introduce this indicator from a practical angle, not like another indicator that tells you when to buy or sell, but as a framework for deciding which indicator deserves your attention right now. So most traders already have access to hundreds of tools. That is not hard part anymore. The hard part is choosing between them when they disagree, when the market regime changes, or when one tool works beautifully in trend and then becomes fragile in chop. For example, imagine this situation. I don't know, like RSI says the market is stretched, a moving average says the trend is still strong, and a volume tool says participation is weakening. Which one should you try right now? Should you trust the oscillator, the trend filter, or the volume signal? That is the selection problem. So the purpose of this first session uh, is uh, is based on three milestones. First, we define the problem the MCDA solves. Second, we explain the philosophy behind the engine. And third, we go through the configuration workflow, including a clear input map so you know what settings actually control. I'm not really sure how much time we will need for these presentations. I hope uh, we will need like two sessions, so today and Wednesday. But yeah, we'll see. I don't want to spend too much time on this and let you play around with it. So the most important idea from the start is this: the MCDA does not replace your trading system. It helps you decide which candidate sensor is currently behaving like the strongest structural fit for the market context. When I say candidate sensor, I simply mean one enabled numeric input in the input section of the Tradingview platform, like RSI, EMEA, MACD, OBF, or any custom indicator stream that you want to compare. So the MCDA indicator ranks candidate indicator streams. It is like a selection layer, not an execution system. Now, let us start with the pain every trader eventually runs into. The problem is not that we lack indicators. So, the real pain is not the indicator shortage, the real pain is overload, contradiction, and context dependence. We all know this situation. You load a moving average, an oscillator, a volume tool, custom filter, and each one tells you slightly different story. One looks clean in trend, another catches turning points better, another one is smoother but too late, and another one looks amazing only after the fact. That creates basically four practical problems. The first issue is overload. There are too many choices and very little objective filtering. The second issue is subjective selection. So many traders choose indicators by habit, reputation, or the last chart where that tool happened to look good. The third issue is regime dependency. The same indicator can behave very differently in trend, range, and high volatility. And the last one, the fourth issue, is the back test illusion. Static best indicator claims often fail once the market structure changes. So the meta indicator that we have built for today starts from a practical question. If I have several candidate indicators enabled, which one is currently the strongest fit for the present market context? So before we explain the solution, we should also be very clear about what problem the meta indicator is not trying to solve. So before that, we need to define the scope honestly, if you want. So the MCDA is not an entry timing tool. It does not tell you the perfect candle to enter. It is not signal magic. It does not claim one indicator is universally best forever. It is not direct price prediction, and it is not a complete trading system. So you usually often try to force every new indicator into the same question: should I buy or sell? That is not what this engine is for. The real issue here is the selection quality. So the meta indicator that we present today helps you decide which indicator deserves attention in the current context. Your execution logic, risk management, and trade plan remain separate. So think of this meta indicator as something that sits before the trade decision. It helps you decide which input deserves more trust, but it does not make the final trading decision for you. So now we can describe the missing layer between a pile of indicators and a disciplined decision process. So most of you already have a lot of indicators. What they usually do not have is what you usually don't have is an objective indicator selection layer. On the left side, we have the usual situation. Many indicators, conflicting readings, static rankings, and no context-aware comparison. This leads to improvisation. So the trader looks at the chart and chooses whichever tool seems persuasive in that moment. On the right side, we have what traders actually need: selection quality, context awareness, objective comparison, and honest uncertainty. So the meta indicator is the layer in the middle. It receives multiple candidate indicator streams and turns them into a ranked view. It does not say the market must go up or down. It says among these indicators, this one is currently behaving like the strongest sensor under the current market context. So this is the missing layer. Not more indicators, but a way to choose between indicators. The philosophy behind this layer is simple. The engine does not care what the indicator is called, even if it's a built one, a custom one, uh, or different other mix. So let's define the unknown sensor, because this is the philosophical heart of the tool. The meta indicator evaluates behavior, not reputation, category, or marketing label. The engine does not need to know whether a source is called EMEA, RSI, OBV, or something custom. If it outputs a numeric time series, it can be treated as a candidate sensor. So this is the limited thing of the meta indicator. You have to put an input with a numerical time series at the output. So you might assume RSI is always an oscillator, a moving average is always trend following, or a custom tool must be special because it has a special name. The meta indicator avoids that semantic bias. It says, I will observe the behavior of the stream and rank it against the other enabled candidates. So the question becomes behavioral. Is this candidate aligned? Is it responsive? Is it stable? Is the signal clean? Is there persistence? That is more useful than arguing about labels. So, what the engine outputs? Usually, you do not get a black box because the meta indicator, it will give you a ranked dashboard with context. So the visible output includes a leader, a live current winner called now, a view state, a regime label, confidence, hold bars, and ranked candidate rows. So the tool is not only calculating internally, it is also trying to explain its state. So even if you have or not the code, the dashboard, the interface for you will give you every information that you need regarding what is calculated internally and why you have that output. So the output is not a buy or sell command. The output is a ranked family view of which candidate deserves more attention now. The user can then take that information into their own trading workflow. For example, if we load 5 trend filters, the dashboard helps us see which trend filter is currently behaving best according to the engine's criteria. If we load 5 oscillators, it helps us compare those oscillators. If we load, I don't know, volume or pressure tools, it compares those tools inside that basket. So again, the meta indicators indicator that we have built for today does not replace judgment. It just helps you to organize the comparison. So why we have built this? The indicator quality is multidimensional. A single metric is not enough. A fast signal is not always a good signal. It may be responsive but noisy. A stable signal is not always useful. It may be smooth but too late. A persistent signal can also be misleading if it persists in the wrong kind of structure. This is why the meta indicator that we have built uses a weighted multi-criteria view. A simple way of thinking about it is this. The MCDA is like a scoreboard or like a scorecard. The engine grades each candidate across several behavioral dimensions, then combines those grades using weights. Those weights can change depending on the market regime. Instead of pretending there is one universal definition of indicator quality, it evaluates candidates across a fixed set of dimensions and combines them through a transparent weighted sum model. So the method is intentionally interpretable. This is not a hidden machine learning model. It is just a structured scoring engine that makes the trade-offs visible enough to explain. So here comes the 5 dimensions that we use for the weighting sum. So the evaluation core is fixed around these 5 dimensions. We have the PA, which means predictive alignment. In plain English, it asks whether the indicator historically aligned with the return that follow. RL means responsiveness. It asks whether the signal moves efficiently or wastes motion in noise. ST comes to stability, so how smooth and consistent the signal is over time. Um, SNL, I think you already heard about it or we have already used in other indicators, means signal to noise ratio. So how strong the signal is relative to randomness or jitter. And the last one, the PS, means persistence, whether the signal shows directional continuity from bar to bar. So notice that these are not indicator categories, they are behavioral properties. That is why the same framework can compare different sources without needing indicator specific rules. So the engine is not asking, is this RSI or is this a moving average? Instead, it is asking, how is this stream behaving? So the next question that comes in mind is, should those 5 dimensions matter equally in every market regime? So that is related to the engine building. So the same indicator should not be empathized the same way in every market structure. In a trend, alignment and responsiveness may deserve more weight because you want sensors that track directional structure. In a range, stability and signal to noise may matter more because the danger is getting fooled by noise. In volatile conditions, stability and signal quality become even more important. And the engine slows visible adaptation so the table does not become a twitchy scoreboard. So the critical distinction is this. Regime changes emphasis, not meaning. PA still means PA, stability still means stability, and so on. the engine simply changes how much each property matters depending on price-derived context. Also important, the regime is price only. It is not defined by whichever indicator basket you happen to load, because the context should not be contaminated by the candidates being evaluated. So this keeps the comparison cleaner. Now, that the philosophy is clear, we can move into the configuration workflow. So you have 6 input zones. And now we can turn the framework into something practical. The interface is organized around 6 input zones. You should not think of these settings as random knobs, but in a workflow order. So first are slots 1 to 5, the primary candidate basket. These are the indicators you actually want to compare. Then more, you can have 6 to 10, which gives you optional advanced slots when you need a larger basket. I would not really recommend to use all 10 on very hard indicators, hard computational indicators. It may run too slow. But yeah, we will see in the future when you start to play around with it, and we may uh, have a chance to optimize in the near future. I have tried to already give the best result, the best optimization of the code. But yeah, we never know what happens in 2 years. So after that, we have the engine group, which controls the statistical backbone, Windows, PA horizon, and normalization. The regime group controls how quickly price context changes and how volatility affects behavior. Beside that, we have the collinearity group, which controls redundancy, so similar candidates do not dominate unfairly. And finally, stability and display control, how the ranking is shown and how much audit information appears. The workflow is quite simple. First, load candidates, choose context, the comparison engine and regime behavior, control redundancy, so the collinearity group, then control stability and display. Keep in mind that the first and most important configuration decision is the indicators basket from 1 up to 10. If the basket is messy, the ranking may still calculate, but the interpretation becomes harder. So, how to think about slots? The basket, as we said, is the first decision you have to make, and it matters more than fine tuning. A good basket compares indicators from the same decision family or purpose. For example, if you are comparing trend filters, um, compare trend filters. If you are comparing oscillators, compare oscillators. If you are comparing volume or pressure tools, keep that basket coherent. Of course, you can try with other inputs, but maybe try to be quite consistent regarding the family of the indicator. Why? Because the meta indicator is a comparative ranking engine. If you give it a messy basket with unrelated tools, it will still rank them, but the interpretation becomes harder. A coherent basket makes the result easier to trust and easier to explain. Names also are important. Use short, readable labels because the table is the product. If the table is filled with long, confusing names, you may experience a misinterpretation of what you're comparing. So you can always set the names, maybe use usually acronyms. Also, leave optional slots off until you need them. More inputs do not automatically mean more information. Um, so, for example, the trend basket might include like an EMEA 50, SMA 100, WMA 50, VWMA 50, and maybe a super trend. An oscillator basket might include RSI, stochastic, CCI, MACD line, and I don't know, something else. Because we already talk about volume or pressure basket, you might include volume, OBF, ADL, or something else. So the big rule is simple: coherent basket first, fine tuning second. Once the basket is clean, only a few setting categories deserve most of your attention. So you when you start to play around with this indicator, you don't have to think like a programmer. You need to understand what means speed, robustness, redundancy, and stability. So, for example, shared windows like property window and zero window mostly control smoothness versus reactivity. Um, Higher values usually create a calmer judgment. Lower values react faster but can become noisier. PA controls define the historical alignment horizon. So PA look ahead changes what horizon is being judged, while PA smoothing calms the alignment signal. Again, think of this as behavior, not like an abstract math or a code. Normalization controls how raw sources are made comparable. The default difference z-score is broad and fast. Robust median plus MAD normalization is useful when source is spike heavy or heavy tailed. Do not turn it on because it sounds sophisticated. Use it when the input behavior justifies. Collinearity controls redundancy, so duplicate, collapse, and correlation penalties help prevent similar candidates from dominating the board simply because they echo the same information. So in the end, we have applied a very sophisticated validation plan for the code to not duplicate or rank same indicators, or even if it has the same name, and so on. The safe user rule is start from defaults, change one thing at a time, and interpret the effect before changing another setting. Now we will make the input panel more concrete, starting with candidate slots and engine controls. So candidate slots. You can have 1 to 10, where the comparison begins. Enable slot turns a candidate on or off. Source is the numeric series being ranked. Label or name is the short text that appears in the table, in the indicator table. Um, the table is the product, so again, names should be short and readable. The best practice is to begin with, I don't know, 4 or 5 coherent candidates. Do not fill all 10 slots just because you want to test them all in one shot. Expand only when the larger basket has a clear purpose. The goal is not to create the largest basket. The goal is to create a basket where the ranking teaches you something useful. After that, we have the engine inputs. So the core engine inputs control how the candidates are evaluated. Property window is the look back used to measure the 5 properties. Z window is the look back used for difference z-score normalization. PA look ahead is the historical horizon used to test alignment with later returns. And PA smoothing calms the PA signal so it is less jumpy. Then we have robustness inputs. Here we have the robust Z, which uses median and MAD normalization for spike heavy sources. Z-clip caps extreme normalized values, so one spike cannot dominate. Explosion threshold, which excludes pathological inputs with abnormal behavior. So the simple way to think about this input section is the engine inputs control evaluation speed and robustness. You do not need to master every detail immediately. The safe advice is simple: leave defaults until a source is visibly unstable, spike heavy, or difficult to compare. After slots and engine inputs, the next group control controls the market context. So regime inputs control the market context based on ER window, which controls how quickly price efficiency can change the regime label. ATR length controls the lookback for volatility measurement. ATR percent volatile threshold can force the engine into volatile conditions when volatility is high enough. And dumping alpha controls base score, smoothing speed, and alpha multiplier in volatile slows, adaptation during stress markets. The important practical idea is that the regime inputs do not redefine the five scoring dimensions. They control how the engine recognizes context and how quickly the visible ranking adapts. So if the market becomes more volatile, the engine can become more cautious instead of constantly jumping from one leader to another. That is the purpose of this group. Next, we have the collinearity inputs, which controls redundancy. Um, so most of the or many indicators can say almost the same thing. For example, if you compare several moving averages with similar lengths, they may be highly correlated. Without redundancy control, the board may appear to favor one type of information simply because the same idea was entered multiple times. So, with penalty on or off, you can enable the redundancy punishment after duplicate collapse. Correlation threshold defines when two unique routes are too similar. Penalty unit defines how much penalty is added per high correlation relationship, and max penalty caps the punishment so the model remains bounded. Um, the safe advice is to leave collinearity on when comparing similar averages, overlapping oscillators, or volume variance. This does not mean similar indicators are bad. It simply means the engine should be aware when candidates are repeating the same information. After that, we have the stability inputs. Stability and confidence inputs, which controls visible update discipline. This is about how the dashboard behaves in real time. Persistence window asks how long leadership must survive to build trust. Confidence threshold controls how strict the update gate is. Higher confidence threshold usually means more held behavior. Lower confidence threshold usually means the table updates more easily. And max hold bars forces a refresh if a held view gets too old. Confidence spread reference defines how wide the leader gap must be to feel decisive. So the key rule is that these settings affect display responsiveness, not the meaning of the score. In other words, the underlying ranking logic still evaluates the same properties, but the visible dashboard can be made calmer or more responsive depending on how strict you want the update behavior to be. So this is useful because a live table should not always behave like a twitchy scoreboard. Sometimes it should wait for enough confidence before changing what you want to see, like the leader now and the leader overall. So the key rule is that these settings affect display responsiveness, not the meaning of the score. The final input group is about how the engine is shown and audited. So this is related to display and debug inputs. Um, so here we have the table position controls, which controls where the dashboard appears. View mode is one of the most important user-facing controls. Summary is for speed. Explain is for meaning. So if you uh, change that you will get more informations, and diagnostics is for audit. After that, we have the row filter, which controls which rows are shown. So here we have show acronym guide, which displays definitions of the PA, RL, ST, and so on. Um, Beside that, it will show you the now, held, and duplicate status. Um, we have here also the main left spacer width, which is simply a layout helper for table alignment, because that's why we have three tables in the same view. After we have the debug inputs, which are for inspection. Here we have the debug level, which exposes the audit layers. So you'll have the layer one, which is related to normalization, layer two, which is related to properties, layer three, related to regime, and layer four for stability. And you also have the debug focus, which chooses which audit area gets attention when debug views are active. Um, After that, we have the debug selected slot, which lets you inspect one candidate more closely. The safe advice is to use summary or explain first, and use debug only when behavior feels surprising or when you want to audit what the engine is doing. So this slide is mainly here to prevent a common misunderstanding. Display views and debug views are not separate scoring modes, they are interpretation and audit tools. So now that every major input group has a map, let us close with the safest starting workflow. So um, the engine rewards disciplined comparison more than clever tweaking. For a beginner default, use the final publication defaults. Load 4 to 5 familiar indicators. You may prefer explain mode in the uh, display input section. Do not touch the debug yet. The goal is not to prove your you already understand the indicator. You may use some simple indicators just to understand how the engine is working regarding the comparison or the meta ranking. So the goal is to learn what the dashboard is telling you. For a trend basket, compare tools like EMEA, SMA, WMA, and so on. Keep collinearity on because many moving averages families can overlap strongly. Watch the regime label and pay attention to responsiveness and persistence. For a chop or noise basket, compare faster averages, oscillators, or intentionally stressful sources. Watch stability behavior carefully and adjust the confidence threshold only when you specifically want to study update behavior. The final checklist is the real takeaway. Choose a coherent basket first, start from the defaults, um, name slots clearly, leave collinearity on when candidates overlap, change one setting at a time. And always remember this is a ranking engine and not a trading signal system. In session two, so by Wednesday, we'll go deeper into how to read the dashboard in real time, leader versus now, held versus updated, explain versus diagnostics, the L1 to L4 audit layers, and the validation logic behind the non-repaint trust story. To close, here is the question I want you to think about. For your first basket, what family would you compare? Trend filters, oscillators, volume pressure tools, or I don't know, any other custom indicators. Thank you, everyone. I really hope this meta indicator will help you firstly to better understand how different indicator works and why they behave in a way based on the regime on the of the market. And of course, in the end, I hope it will help you to take the best decision. Thank you, Vlad. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Julie. Definitely seems like a indicator mother, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
I don't
something
know how
like
to
that.
call it. Mm-hmm. Was it hard to build? Like, how much time have you spent in total? Like, if you were to guess?
Yeah, well, I think I worked for like 2 months, but yeah, it wasn't like everyday work, but I was consistent, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, like I don't know, 2 3 days. After 2 3 days, some consistent work regarding on building the indicator, and after I had let's say the first final version, I went to a very strict validation plan, and of course it destroyed a lot and resulted in the final indicator that I have presented for today.
Destroyed a lot, then build a lot right after that. And of
Yes.
course, a lot of work. And yeah, an amazing work. Definitely looking forward for the second presentation. If there's going to be a third one, I believe Yuli will let everybody know. And yeah, let's make some usage out of it. Maybe you guys within Discord, because Yulia also has his own dedicated place within Discord. Maybe you could suggest some, I don't know, tasks maybe for the indicator, and Yuli can come up with the results. Of
Yeah, we
course,
can
within Tradingview.
try something like that. I mean, that's the next point to get in time to publish this indicator, and after that to play around with it and see what what are the results based on it. So yeah, definitely looking for your feedback and for your ideas.
Awesome. As always, Yuli, such an amazing work. Thank you very much for being today with us, and definitely looking forward for the Wednesday session as well.
Thank you.
I guess thank you very much. I guess that's pretty much it, guys, for today in a matter of the most important topics. Make sure to join also tomorrow, which I'll be going through the Elite Backtesters' newest setups, which of course they are going to be turned into Strategy Factory bots. And also I'll be updating you with some of my local backtester project, which at the moment has a total amount of setups of, I just went beyond 40,000, which is insane. I mean, Claude was definitely a huge help. Also, Fable 5, of which, if you guys didn't check David's newest videos, it has been featured within the community as well. And yeah, definitely looking forward to see what's next with the non-crypto side of events as well, because I'm slowly building but surely that part of the community as well. And if you guys have any suggestions about the non-crypto side, the forex side, the stocks, and the other markets, just let us know. We are at the moment in the building stage, and looking forward for second half of the year release within 2026, definitely. As I said earlier, guys, Discord has got a new refresh. We had some new rooms. We do have the Trade Harbor, of course, you're familiar with that. We do have now Reed, on which he's a champion trader within various exchanges. He has been within the tops as either a copy trader or a trader directly. Make sure to get his status vibe about the bots as well. We also have Yuli, if you're interested in the Algo Lab about building indicators and testing indicators and strategies, or any question about more complicated stuff around Pine Script, make sure to give him a message in there. We also have Yale, which has been building a quite interesting project as well. He's been featuring the David Tech strategies, the David Tech bots, putting another highlight on the strategy factory as well. A very, very new addition will be AlgoBot with another very interesting project. To be honest, it's very new. It's kind of like a portfolio helper, if that makes any sense. But make sure, guys, to check it out. I believe it's going to be an amazing addition, like Trade Harbor was. Again, Trade Harbor, the best dashboard we never had, was actually released by somebody else, not by David, which was amazing. So maybe you guys have actually better ideas and better output than ourselves, which can be. I mean, we are definitely not perfect. We are definitely looking forward to see your creations in the future as well. And there's also open source with Rudy, on which if you guys have any suggestion about a new project, Rudy, he's going to be able to build some kind of startups or some kind of beta versions, and whichever gets more attention by the community is also going to be pushed forward. There's also a new room coming. Maybe by the end of this week, I'm going to make an announcement about that, but more about it maybe by the end of the week or at the beginning of the next one, which I'm very excited. It's again one of the very, very elite members within Davitech that um, he currently thinks about doing another room like everybody else. If you guys have any questions, I believe that's pretty much it. Make it sure to drop it in the Discord chat. By the
Yeah,
end of that,
I'll go have a question, and I wanted to speak about it, not just to write it down. Maybe it helps everyone. So we do not
if you could read it as well, really,
define.
so people
Yeah,
are
maybe
aware of it.
so. Actually, there are two questions. Are all your indicators based on the promise of Kojing market regime? Not really. Is the plan to put all your indicators into a library and create trading strategies from them, or use your indicators to decide when to trade existing strategies? So, regarding this question, we are not really sure for now, but what we have in plan is to revisit each indicator from the beginning, because we have learned a lot until now,
In the meantime, yeah.
and
Mm.
yeah, and to make like the final polished version, the final document for each indicator. Um, we are also aiming to publish them, or at least some of them.
Trading. Mhm.
Yes, for the Trading View platform, so all of you will be um, able to start playing around with them and making strategies and so on. And yes, after that, definitely we will try to make some strategy based on different combos of two, three, five indicators. So yeah, the final plan is to make the strategies. Uh, Basically, the story of this portfolio that we have made for this half of the year should contain every tool that you need for trading. So basically, with all indicators that we have built for now, you shouldn't need any other optional indicators, even not, I don't know, moving averages, RSI, or something else. So yeah, you should have a full basket of tools for every type of trading. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yuli. All right. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Beforehand, I'm going to do a short performance update. As you might be aware, guys, we are in the top traders, top copy traders within various exchanges. Some of us have been notified that they are in the top 2, top 1% traders. For example, Fishing, the head of Trade Harbor, has been notified that he's in the top 1.3%. Also, Reed has been recently crashing it into different exchanges as a copy trader. You can definitely see some 100% there, some ROI here of 66% within a very, very short time. Also, guys, please feel free to check out Trade Harbor, where some of our users have different challenges. For example, you can watch Reed's challenge when moon, and also Fishing's on Trade Harbor. The links are in the presentation. So that's pretty much it, guys. I don't see there is any other question. Also, the 33 people watching us over YouTube and X, please make sure to join our Discord server. This would be the link, discord.gg/davidtech, on which in the next live stream you can join. And you can join now and, of course, join the community and make yourself at home. And for tomorrow, if you can join the Discord voice chat, I'll be more than happy to have a conversation about David Tech, about trading, about AI, and give you guys my 2 cents. Yuli, I believe we're good to go. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Vlad. Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. See you on the next time. Tomorrow, similar hour. Goodbye.